From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big morning, and of early mornings, LA, with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check updated 2021. In today's recording, we go over the breaking news as a vote on that reconciliation budget bill could be as early as today. Here we go. And this is great news as the voting is set whether or not we have a Congressional Budget Office report. This fourth stimulus check updated 2021 today is deliciousness because you're going to get upwards of $15,000 across all these incredible clusters of checks in this incredible recon. Yes, $15,000 coming to you under fourth stimulus across all these clusters. And that's on top of third stimulus that is currently paying viewers upwards of $45,000. I'm going to show you how to get these huge sums of money across all these incredible programs. Then we turn over to student loan debt forgiveness, as more debt can be forgiven across the board, and then we turn to fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus heating up, and that would be coming in January as we go into a big new week. The exciting details with the big new week is that we're going to have that House passage of that recon. We'll be finished and heading to the finish line. You're going to be set up for upwards of $15,000 across those checks across the board, and that comes after third stimulus is still paying out across the board. That big money for third stimulus is about $45,000. It's a big day. A lot of money. $45,000 on the third stimulus, $15,000 under fourth stimulus, fifth stimulus coming in January, and nothing for bacon. Nothing for bacon. Yeah, no. Bernie, do the bacon amendment. Chuck, call the bacon-a-rama. I mean, it's about time for it. The toast is toasting, the butter is butter, and I'm here, you're here, and early mornings LA starts right now. Hey, good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a beautiful day. And here we go with a big week across the board. Student loan debt forgiveness. More debt can be forgiven across the board. And fifth stimulus heating up as well. But the real talk of the land of this week is that incredible House vote. That House vote is going to be solidified as early as today, but as late as this Friday. And that House vote will happen whether or not we have a CBO report or we don't have a CBO report. I have the latest details in this incredible recording, but the big details, of course, are the programs. Yes, those incredible programs, upwards of $15,000 across all these incredible clusters of checks. That's on top of third stimulus that's paying still money, and that money you want to get as well, upwards of $45,000. I'll show you how to go into this week and end this week with potentially $80,000 in your wallet, and that's before we get to even fourth stimulus. We got a big recording. We got a big week. We got a big day, and I'm excited you're here. And this, my friends, is a brand new early mornings LALATE. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record, and 140 million views. You're not going to see the breadth of the reporting anywhere in America because this is America's most talked about financial news channel. Like this video and consider becoming a member. Coming up next is Mornings Countdown at 7 a.m. And then we got Mornings LA live on air at 9 a.m. Here we go. This incredible week will end with a passage of a recon in the House of Representatives that'll pay you about $15,000 across all these incredible clusters of checks. In this recording, we're going to go over those clusters broadly first. Then we're going to come back and go over the voting process. Then we're going to go over each of these checks one at a time. And then we're going to also go over third stimulus. So here we go. Across all these incredible clusters of checks, you get about $15,000. Watch and learn and take notes on this video because you're going to learn how to get these sums of money of these checks. Not automatic, not doing nothing. You need to learn how to get it. And I'm going to show it to you right now. 3 clusters, 3 add-ons, and it starts with the first cluster. Everything is going to the finish line. If I say front end, it means front end check. Back end, it means you have to do some for it. And here we go. Hazard got in there. Back end, that's for my essential workers for 1 more year of the earned income tax credit. Then $4,000 of elder care front end, $4,000 to care for young children front end. They got the CTC, the child tax credit, for 1 more year as well. That is for those young children, $3,600 or $3,000. They got repairs to the home. Yes, they got repairs to the home if you live in a low-income community. Wow, it is incredible. Definitely front end on that. Then they got $12,500 for the purchase price of a new electric vehicle, back end, and the Pell Grant, $550 checks for current Pell Grant recipients. Whoa. There you go. Everything in that first cluster surviving, and that is a deliciousness. The first add-on comes from the wonderful Maxine Waters, and it's free money to buy a home. Yeah, you heard me right. Free money to buy a home. I mean, can you imagine that? Up to $25,000. She didn't get the $25,000 number, but she got something a little bit less. Free money to buy your first home. I have all the details of how you get it coming up later in this video. Stay with me. There's a lot in this show today. But let's go the second add-on of checks and the second clusters of checks. And here we go. It starts with the paid leave and the home repairs. More of those home repairs. Here we go. Are you excited? I am. They got paid leave and family leave in there. Front end check. They got in then the household tax credit, back end. They got pre-kindergarten, front end, and they got the money to weatherize your home. You need to weatherize your home because you know what season it is. It is not holiday season. It is not the fall. It is lobster season. You never know when the lobster mobile pulls up and Birdie, God forbid. And Mitch jumps out, and it's that just lobsters everywhere. You just lobster. You need to weatherize the gate against lobster invasion. Lobster evasion. Yeah, let's keep those red lobsters out. There we go. Let's turn to the second. Let's go into the second add-on. It comes from the wonderful, illustrious Bob Casey, the senator from Pennsylvania. $250 billion for the purchase for new home health care. It's huge. This is not a check, but this will be a covered benefit. Home health care for my seniors and people on disabilities. Well, let's get some more checks. I'm ready for them. You are? I bet you are. Here we go. Free school meals for all, checks. Then they got cheaper prescription medication benefit, immigration reform benefit. Farmers likely maybe in there still, checks. Free internet. We're going to see if those checks are still in there. Clean energy out. Workers see if those checks are still in there. And then we got the dental, vision, and hearing. Okay, how does that work? Well, in the House bill that's getting passed this week, they're going to have the hearing and the Medicaid gap states taken care of. The vision and the hearing and the dental will be happening on the Senate side from Bernie, which tees us up for the third add-on. And that third add-on, of course, is MSE, monthly or multiple IRS stimulus check. The equation at issue is the Senate. It has always been the Senate. Adding it during vote-a-rama, adding it during Senate subcommittees. Two opportunities. First, Senate subcommittees. You're going to see a lot of legislators have a lot to do in this recon when it lands the Senate. So they can add it in the subcommittee. They can also add it in during vote-a-rama. That vote-a-rama is a two-day event in which they propose stuff. Last time we looked at MSC, the last breakdown that they had working with them was $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for a total of 6 months. But that was when the recon was bigger. So you may see that smaller if they do get MSCs in there. Remember, this is a Senate push, and you need to advocate for its inclusion across the board. What's important to understand is that there's 2 C's, 2 W's, and 2 S's. Allocate your week right today. Allocate what day you're going to call the C's, the S's, and the W's, and then leave yourself 1 or 2 days to pick up the phone and call for third stimulus money as well. The 2 C's, 2 is Coons, Casey. Ward, the S's are Sanders and Schumer, and then the W's are Warren and Wyden. Let's read that incredible message to us that says continue to advocate, especially until we're over the finish line, because the Senate is right upon us. They have had 3 million of you call, but you shouldn't stop there yet. They'd have in total between congressional senators' offices received more contacts of advocacy from the LA Purple Power than the number of signatures in the American petition. Everyone's amazing by the outpouring of touching stories. Now they have a better understanding of what Americans are going through. They have heartbreaking stories, and they have the voice of the people in you, LA, as you have become too loud to be ignored. Very kind. Let's read the last sentence on air. Please continue your advocacy and tell people to continue to advocate. As the professional voice of the people, you have become LA, and do this until it becomes law. Very, very kind. Why is it important? You need to continue to advocate because guess what? We're going to the Senate. And what's important to understand is there's no time to use adverbs or adjectives like they promised, they predicted, they this. No. It is a battleground royale. Everything that's in the recon passed on the Senate, on the House side, is fair game to be removed. Everything that's not in there is fair game to be added. There's a battle to reduce numbers and a battle to increase numbers. So never take anything for granted when considering the MSC. You have to push to get it in there. You have to push to ensure it's right. And you have to push across the board. In the second half of this video, we're going to go over the incredible checks that are already in that House bill that'll pay you about $15,000. It's huge. It is deliciousness. We're going to go over those incredible programs, how you get these $15,000, and we'll be turning over to third stimulus is paying $45,000. We'll be going over the CBO report that will not be available this week, but the vote is still set and will happen as early as today, if not this Friday. That is based upon that incredible House bill. Then we'll be turning to student loan debt forgiveness, and then the COLA raise, and what happens after that with fifth stimulus. All those details and more as we go into a big, bold, beautiful early mornings broadcast. And those details plus my commentary, I'll see you, and I'll be back with you in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on a big early mornings broadcast. The deal is done. We'll have a vote as early as today, if not this week. The vote is set on that incredible recon. That'll pay you on average about $15,000. Get that pen and paper ready. It's all about information. It's all about getting this money. You need to know how to get this money. You have to know the programs. Get ready to learn. It's coming up in the second half of this video. Student loan debt forgiveness. More debt can be forgiven across the board. And then fifth stimulus. Big money after that COLA raise, and we got to get that over the finish line as well. Those details and more, plus my commentary as we start a beautiful big early mornings broadcast. We got a big week. We got a big day. I'm excited you're back, and this, my friends, is LALATE, America's most talked about financial news channel. Like this video and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe because you don't want to miss a single video across the board this week. It's going to be a jam-packed week. Also, consider becoming a member to get that incredible newsletter that comes out Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And with that, let's go over all the dramatics that are unfolding today, and boy, is it dramatic. Here we go. An incredible vote on your wonderful $2 trillion recon will be called as early as today, but as late as Friday. A week ago, Nancy Pelosi got a moderate Democrats to agree to a vote on the recon with the release of the Congressional Budget Office report, but no later than the week of November 15th. That week is this, and there we go. That incredible agreement hatched by the progressives and Nancy Pelosi put the date of this week as the determining factor, that even if the CBO report is not available, you're going to call the vote, and they're going to vote in favor of it. We commit to vote in favor of the Build Back Better Act in its current format no later than the week of November 15th, says Gothenheimer, Rice, Murphy, Schrader, Case, and also another one. Raising their hand, voting that, and signing that document as an agreement. That vote will happen this week, and that means we're done with the recon on the House side. The Congressional Budget Office report not going to be available this week in its totality form, so not a concern whatsoever. What's important to understand is that when you see that vote done, we're done with the House. We're done with the House. And off to the Senate we go. But the bill that's going to pass in the House will pay you about $15,000 across all these incredible clusters of checks before we land in the Senate. So let's do a reality check before we start. We're going to go over all these programs that pay you these checks across the board. People have been sending me nice messages over the last few days. LA, you have helped millions of people. I really appreciate that. I've helped people with EIDL, PPP, LWA, SWV. No, that's the rock group. That's the secret. LWA, rent, utilities, food, SNAP, and other items. What is that all involved? It's all involved me teaching you something, bringing you information, having you make notes, having you send me questions, having me answer it, and having you pick up the phone or go to a website and getting the money. What does that involve? A learning curve. And what's important is when you look at this recon, this fourth stimulus recon, it's going to pay you about $15,000 across all these clusters of checks. Is anyone going to do this analysis for you? No. No one in America really cares. No one cares or ever does this analysis. This channel's been around for over a year, and I've never seen anyone really care to get people money as a major broadcasting channel since day one of this channel. So under third stimulus, I had viewers who started the week and ended the week with $80,000 they got from third stimulus. They learned it from me, and then they turned to their family members and said, let me help you. And the family member said, I never heard this on broadcast media. Where is this money coming from? Third stimulus, it's available. So you need to learn the items that are in this incredible fourth stimulus recon. Lots of checks, lots of programs. It takes an effort to learn it, and it starts right now. Not particularly difficult. The first check in this incredible recon is paid leave and family leave. Paid family leave, what is this? You have to stay home from work because of birth of a new child, death, or illness in the household. Now, it's not COVID-ish related whatsoever. But here's a catch. Let's say you don't work, but you do live in a household with someone who does work, and you're the sick person. So you need to learn this because you need to impart this to the other person. For example, let's say you are a senior and you live with your son and daughter, and they do work, and they often take you to the doctor once a month for a day, so they have to take off from work. Then this is their money. You need to learn it and tell your son or daughter about this. So how much does it pay? It pays a fortune. It pays thousands of dollars. How much? Let's do the analysis. $70,000 or more per year, $1,700 a week. $35,000 annual salary or more per year, $800 a week. Then $15,000 or more, $400 a week. How many weeks? Up to 4 weeks a year. Yeah, so it's a lot of money. So let's say your son or daughter has to stay home from work for a week because they have the flu. That's a lot of money. 4 times $1,700, it's $5,000, $6,000. It's incredible. And the great news about it is that it's all income levels and all type of workers. So it doesn't matter how much that person makes at work, and it doesn't matter if they're a W-2 or a 1099. Wow. The second next provision that got into this incredible recon is SNAP. So what, is SALT. A lot of S's. Not SNAP, SALT. What is SALT? It is how much you can deduct on a federal tax return from your state taxes. When you go to pay your state tax return, you pay taxes. Let's say you pay $15,000 of taxes on the state tax return. You can then deduct that money on the federal tax return. But there's a problem. You can only deduct up to $10,000 under the Trump 2017 tax code. Well, the moderate Democrats led by Gothenheimer got this change in there, and now you can deduct up to $72,500 of what you pay in state taxes on the federal tax return. It really helps in states in which there's big tax burdens like New York and New Jersey. $40 billion of free job training is in this recon. Really huge, especially for my seniors, because guess what? Fifth stimulus is going to change. They're going to take away the provision that says you can't work and stay on benefits. They're going to take that away. So let's say you want to take a part-time job, but you don't know how to do it. There's going to be free job training under fourth stimulus. Wow, incredible. Then they got in there the Medicaid gap fix. What is this? This is if you're in a Republican governor state. In 12 Republican governor states called the holdout states, the governors refused to pay for Obamacare. So now the Democrats have gotten a workaround plan in this recon. What is it? They'll provide years of subsidized private insurance to low-income people in those states. Wow. Then we come into the housing assistance, $150 billion for items which start with rent, utility, and mortgage assistance. Duplicative to third stimulus, 100% duplicative. Third stimulus has rent, utility, and food, and rent, utilities, and mortgage assistance. And third stimulus is still paying that money. So here we're going to do a brief overview back into third stimulus. Let's back up a notch. A year ago this week, I was doing second stimulus. And I said second stimulus checks were not coming this week. Not 5 weeks from now, not 5 months from now. Well, they did come within 5 months from now, but not 5 weeks from that. And I said, you need money, and let's get some rent and utilities and mortgage assistance. And viewers did. They got their rent paid from October all the way to March of this year. So they got all throughout the winter into the future. They got rent forward, not rent back, not just rent backwards. Well, that was in fall of 2020. Then when we went into spring of 2021, I said, here's what's going into this third stimulus when they do it. They're going to do all this rent again. So get it now so you get the skill set, so you're ready when it becomes law, and you're going to pounce as a Purple Hawk. And that's what became Purple Hawks, pouncing before anyone else to get money because it's diminishing funds and money. It became law. The great news is that that money is still available. Rent, utilities, and mortgage assistance. So how do you get it? Get that pen and paper ready. I'm going to show you how right now. First, the average viewer of this channel has gotten $45,000 from these sums of money, but many of the viewers have gotten over $100,000. Let's go over the numbers right now and what you do. First, we're going to get rent. You're going to reach out to 6 places. Each place has different eligibility. They also have their own pots of money. If one says no, reach out to the rest. Here we go. Here are the 6 places you reach out to. City Hall, City House Authority. County Hall, County House Authority. State Hall, State House Authority. And the keywords you could say are rent assistance because of COVID. Mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. And here are the numbers that people got for rent 3 months ago. 20 to 27,000, but now the rent has gone up more. Viewers on average have gotten $40,000 of rent. Now here's some things you need to know about rent. 1, if you're a viewer to this channel, get that newsletter as a member. And that newsletter features the 6 places to reach out to. It teaches you to read the statement from Treasury, which explains the new $13 billion cash infusion, so you know what it is before you call up asking for the rent. And then it shows you the nonprofits. Of the 6 places, you're going to qualify for rent. You do not have to be behind on rent. And the rent is not only backwards, it's forward rent. If you're 0.5% of a person, 0.5% of the viewership of this channel, not even 1%, like 0.0001% of the viewers channel, that you reached out to all 6 places and all 6 said no, then reach out to the nonprofits. They are United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities. But you will likely qualify for rent from third stimulus. There you go. Now utilities. It's important to get utilities. What is utilities? Every utility bill you got. Water, gas, heating oil, all of them. If you got 5, reach out to 5. Here are the numbers 3 months ago. Now the numbers are higher. They grew to $15,000 from Mark's brother-in-law, but now the numbers are going bigger. Why? Because the utilities are going bigger. Consumer Price Index number released last week showed that heating oil went up 59% year to date. So that's why you want to get the utility bills paid right away. Which brings us then into the money for SNAP. SNAP is money for food. You get it. Need money for food? Then get it. How do you get SNAP? Department of Agriculture. It now goes up 25% lifetime based upon a new rule starting last month, and Mark's brother-in-law is getting $25,000 a year because of the channel. Over the next 10 years, he will get $250,000. Next, get multiple sums of money, please. Get as many multiple sums as possible. You want to get the rent from as many places as possible. Don't get it from just one, get it from multiple places. Don't just put in one application, put in 20 applications. Here are the combo people. Here's Mark. He was at 50,000. He's grown to 100,000. What's important is you don't just stop with a few items. You keep on pushing. Here was Lorraine. She was at 105. She's at 120. Great example is Margaret. She gets a couple $100 every few days from these sums of money. So there you go. What's important to understand is do not look for this money in fourth stimulus. Get it now under third stimulus. Don't wait around. Rent, utility, mortgage assistance, or food. Get it right now under third stimulus. What else is in the housing assistance besides that? Well, they also have in there the money for the home repairs and also the first-time home purchases. Okay, the home repairs. Low-income community, free home repairs, grant. We don't know any more about the details yet. Then we also have the weatherize your home. This is big, and that does not have an income qualification. And then finally, the purchase price of your first home. First, one viewer married and then got divorced. Is it first now? Don't know. We have to wait and see the language. Then we have the home. Brick and mortar? No, I don't think it has to be brick and mortar. And then finally, the income qualification. We don't know that yet either. In-home healthcare, they'll have $150 billion for seniors and people on disabilities for that in-home healthcare. Tuition aid, the $550 check for my Pell Grant recipients. Yes, you're going to get a big check across the board. $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle from a union shop, Chrysler, GM, Ford. This is huge. This is $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle. Every day I get a person who somehow wants to change this to something else. No, it is literally black letter law. It is exactly like that. So it's not a used car. It's not a hybrid car. It's not a Toyota. It is only the U.S. and it's a new car, new electric vehicle, $12,500 back end check. Then they got in there $65 a month when the student is not in school for food. Which turns us to one of the best provisions of the entire recon. It is the cheaper prescription medication. Wow. What's at issue here? What's at issue here is that for 20 years, medication has not been able to be negotiated by the government. Why? When they rolled out Medicare, its charter agreement said they could not negotiate with big pharma, pharmaceutical companies, on medication prices. So big pharma stuck it to them and got 15 paid lobbyists to keep it the status quo for many years. Finally, it came to a head 2 weeks ago when President Biden picked up the phone and called Kristen Sinema and said, Sinema, you have to come on board. And she did. And he got the deal, and there you go. The deal with Sinema blessing the remainder of the recon is incredible. 20 medications right out the gate, as soon as it becomes law, would overnight be dramatically slashed. They are the most expensive medication. Cancer, arthritis, diabetes. If you're having $900 doses per day or per month, per dose or per month for insulin, now they'll be $35. Huge drop, $35 per dose. Medicare Part B, Medicare Part D, it'll grow to 30 prescriptions by the year 2028, tied to inflation so that they can't increase them any more than that. Chuck Schumer praised it. Scott Peters said this is really good for seniors. So that one provision you saw heard in there that they are going to punish the big pharma if they raise the prices more than inflation after they get the negotiated agreement. Well, some Republicans say that does not go under Senate rules, putting it to the Senate parliamentarian. What's happening? Senate parliamentarian this week will likely rule on the fate of several provisions like that could get removed. The Republicans are now saying there's a lot of provisions we're going to challenge with the Senate parliamentarian. So you could see some provisions potentially fall out. One that's likely to fall out is immigration reform, which she previously said cannot go by recon. We're going to see what happens with paid leave because that may fall out as well. And that is the Senate parliamentarian. She is a nonpartisan official. When the bill lands in the Senate by potentially the end of this week, a lot of changes are going to happen. Bernie Sanders is the best bill since the 1960s, but has major gaps. That's why subcommittee is very important because they need to fix those gaps. When asking you to add provisions to the recon, he says, of course I am. Dental, vision, and things like that. Senator after senator says, I have a lot of changes coming. Ron Wyden says it's not done until the Senate acts, and he says also, there's a significant amount of work to still be done. Senators Chris Coons, then Senators Dable Staple now, Schumer, and also Murphy say get ready for all those changes. Which keys up the question of, okay, what are some of those other checks? So get a pen and paper ready. Let's go over those other checks right now. Here you go. Front end or back end? Let's see. Pre-kindergarten, 1 year, free. Front end check. Childcare, back end. Then the CTC, the child tax credit, front end, $3,600 or $3,000 for 1 more year based upon an annual salary. And then we have the home health care covered benefit, the earned income tax credit, back end for my essential workers. And then the hearing aid, likely a check for that one, otherwise a covered benefit. Well, we just went over the rent and similar. Now let's turn to the Pell Grant $550 checks and $65 per month when the student is not in school. Which cues up the question, besides MSC, what else is Bernie potentially pushing to put in this recon when it lands in the Senate? Dental, vision, and also the lowering the eligibility age for Medicare. So Medicare is currently 65. Bernie wants it at 55. Bob Casey wants it at 60. So we'll see what happens. Then we have Bernie's comments about teeth and eyeglasses. We're the wealthiest country in the wealthiest country, and people have no teeth and they cannot see. That's not sufficient. So let's do the analysis of that starting right now. The analysis of the dental last was with a check. And last in the House bill, when it was last in the House bill, dental was a check, $850 a year if you're on Medicare. Not enough, because it only really covers cleanings and not enough for procedures, because $850 won't cut it. So Bernie wanted 10 years of full benefits, and then he wanted 3 years of full benefits. Let's see what happens with that. Which brings us to the vision. The vision just causes frame wars every day in the chat. An eye exam and a pair of frames per year. How much is an eye exam? Costco, $50. How much is a pair of frames? $100. $150. Medicare, send it out in the mail. We're done. Very simple. To which some viewers continually say, my daughter bought me frames at $450. That's how much Medicare should give you. Medicare is not shopping at the House of Gucci. Hi, Gaga. Medicare is not going to Fendi to buy your frames. So if you have someone in your household who's buying you beautiful $500 frames, God bless that person, that's not going to be Medicare picking up that tab anytime soon. But Lisa say there's a lot of worrying words in the live chat. People saying, well, my optometrist is really good. He charges $700 for an eye exam. Okay, time to find another doctor. Child tax credit. I show it $60,000 or less. We'll see what happens with that. I don't show it $150. In home healthcare, I show it actually higher. I show it about $200 billion. I show housing aid like $175, a little bit higher on that as well. Okay, I have my commentary about the situation coming up in just a second. But now let's take a detour over to the student loan debt forgiveness and also to the stimulus. Student loan debt forgiveness. Wow. Democrats have an offer. They should take it. $10,000 of student loan debt to be forgiven across the board. And that student loan debt would be done by executive order. It could be done today. Democrats have already gotten 3 debts forgiven. People became disabled after graduation. The president took care of that. Then people went to work in the nonprofit sector, and people went to work in the public sector 10 years after graduation. Their debts are forgiven. But the remaining $10,000, it's been offered. The Democrats should take it. Doesn't prevent them from asking for more next year. 5th stimulus. I'm getting so many great questions about this. First, people asking, what is this COLA thing? How does this work? Everyone's benefits are going up January 1 based upon the new COLA rise. It's 5.9%. So your benefits, your checks are going up 5.9% next year. Not just next year, lifetime. They will never go lower than that raise. They may go higher. So how much does it equate? If you get $100 of benefits a month, it's $5.90 more per check. So it's for every $100, it's an additional $6. Now, the issue at hand is that COLA doesn't work. COLA did not work for many, many years. Pre-pandemic, the economy was on fire, and things cost more, and you did not get a raise of your benefits because of COLA. Then the pandemic hit, and then COLA didn't help you again. Finally, now we're coming out of the pandemic, and we're having inflation, and COLA is starting to give you 5.9%. Not enough. That is why we need 5th stimulus. First, they're going to raise your benefits up one big time. Then they're going to remove the asset cap. And then they're going to remove the income cap and remove the marriage penalty. But it's the lift-ups that really fascinate us. First, they're going to raise your benefits up one time. Then they're going to apply a new benchmark in December 2022. That is 3 lifts in 1 year. First, COLA, then raising you one time, and then December 2022. And that would be really good. It's not done there yet, because once you're raised up 3 times, you never step down. And then when they come around to the December after that, 2023, they're going to do the new inflation rate benchmark again. And there you go. And with that, if you haven't become a member, what are you doing? Become a member. The link is under the video. Become a Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP right today and learn about all the big money under 1st, 2nd, and 3rd stimulus. But it's important to learn it and apply it. Membership is not just about having an emoji behind your name. It's getting that newsletter that comes out Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, that features the 6 places to reach out to for rent. That features the statement from Treasury about the rent, which you should know and read before you call up asking for the rent. Features the 5 nonprofits to lean on if you have an eligibility problem. The nonprofits pay for things like small furnaces, portable appliances like a small refrigerator. They also do clothing and also holiday meals. So with that, consider becoming a member and get that incredible newsletter. Comes out daily, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. via the YouTube alert system and the LALATE alert system. And at that point, the next question is, what's next? Here comes my commentary of what is next. Today, you're likely to see a pageantry of the president talking about how great the roads and bridges legislation is. Okay, good. Doesn't concern me. There's no money for us in that roads and bridges. Your money is in the recon. And what's important to understand is that the recon is very much like what this channel has done over the year and a half. I have covered LWA, EIDL grant, EIDL loan, PUA, FPUC, mortgage assistance, rent assistance, utilities, things like that. Lots of very unusual things where I have to bring on camera the information, educate you about it, and then you apply the situation. But along the way, somewhere last week, and hopefully it does not repeat this week, we saw a lot of donity comments. And donity means someone that's very donut person who wants things to just land automatically. They shouldn't have to do anything. And with that, it also took us to a very broader fake narrative. Let's go over what's going on. There's been different versions of this. The first version is someone who jumped in the live chat 2 days ago and said, we need 2 years of stimulus checks of $2,000 a month because I need to buy a new house and new car. Oh boy, there's so much wrong in that sentence. First, federal government is never going to pay you 24 checks. That's just, you don't want to advocate about stuff that makes no sense. They're not paying you 24 checks. Number two, the federal government is not going to give you money so you can just go buy a car and a Harley Davidson, a brand new boat. I mean, it's just, that's not what I do here. And that's not what you should think that these programs are for. These are help people in need. That sort of comment is just all out of touch. Then, when you look at this incredible recon and you say, advocate, I need certain provisions in there, make sure that you have not exhausted third stimulus, because I saw some people say, I need an MSE because I need to pay my rent or my utilities or my food or the mortgage. No, that is in third stimulus. Why would you look at a legislation that is only a proposed legislation, not law yet, for stimulus, when for the same items that are already law under third stimulus and are still fully funded? So if you need help with all these items like rent and utilities, don't wait for fourth stimulus. Get it right now under third stimulus. Now, along the same line of donity is this sort of strange fake narrative that comes up sporadically with a random person here or there that says, I don't qualify, I don't this, I don't that. And it comes from a cause of concern for me to hear that kind of comment, which brings in a tough love moment of right now, which is you're playing games with yourself. You are giving yourself a fake narrative because you just don't want to make the effort. When we look at the 6 places for rent, of those 6 places, they have different eligibility and different pots of money. So those are 6 places you need to reach out to. If you get 6 no's, which I've never seen ever in this channel, then lean on the nonprofits because the nonprofits also help with rent. If you get 6 no's, which I've never seen still. Now, what often cues this up is a person says, I don't qualify for something. And someone asks them, did you ask for the rent? The viewer says, I called up one place. They said no. And just says, done. I'm done. I called one place. That was my effort. I don't know why a person would do that and think that that's fine. And again, I think it's playing into a mindset. The mindset is, I shouldn't have to do this. I don't want to do it. Just give me automatic checks and another donut from my hand. It's deeply troubling, and I don't know when the warning signal will kick in for that viewer. Perhaps it's when the electric is turned off. Perhaps when the viewer did not go out and get their electric bill paid under third stimulus or paid for the nonprofits and sat around waiting for some fourth stimulus to become law. that suddenly when the electric bills turn off, they realize, wait a second, I should have been getting the electric bill under third stimulus all these months. You qualify for this money. And the money is not just back, it's also forward. If you got in this money before under third stimulus, you can get it again. You can get multiple rounds. And you can get the money forward, not just back. So that is where I want to see. Next, it's important to understand that when you look at MSC, monthly IRS stimulus check, it is not a phenomenon that you should be only focused on and nothing else. That is an ingredient for destruction. Why? Because you are becoming financially dependent upon one item and its path. Never do that. Never do that, especially when you qualify for other sums of money. Cash is cash. Who cares what it is? It is still cash. You are getting cash from this recon, and that cash is available from this recon, and it's cash available from the third stimulus recon. The average viewer of this channel from third stimulus recon has gotten $45,000. If you can get $45,000 in your hand, why would you pass it up to say I want it under fourth stimulus a different way? No, you can get both of them. Here's what's at issue, is that when you look at your entire universe of bills that you may have, and you may have, let's say, 20 bills. I can get 7 of them paid. I can't get the car fixed, and I can't get the roof fixed. But I even have had viewers get their medical bills paid by the nonprofits. So why would you not get all these bills paid? Because cash is cash. If your vision and looking future for about 4 stimulus is to pay off bills you have right now, do that with third stimulus. Don't wait for that under fourth stimulus. And everything is a diminishing return. Time has passed since third stimulus became law. It's still there. It's still fully funded. But as surges come on, don't expect it to be fully funded across the board. You're going to have a big surge where Americans aren't going to be able to make bills paid on heating oil. So there's going to be a big surge on the nonprofits for that particular issue. Don't wait to the last second across the board. Meantime, do not think that dependency on one item is good. It's not. So that when you look at single or multiple IRS stimulus checks, great provision. Advocate for it. Spend 1 day on the C's, Casey and Coons, 1 day on the W's, Warren White, and 2 days on 1 day on the S's, Schumer and Sanders. But then also give you 1 or 2 days yourself per week to call up and get the sums of money from third stimulus. Margaret's a great example. She gets a couple $100 every few days. Mark keeps on going back and getting sums of money. Finally, you have to make the effort. What I can do is I can teach you. What I can do is answer your questions. What I can do is show you the information, give you the information. But I can't make the phone call for you. When I launched this channel, people's EID loans were stuck. They weren't getting processed. They weren't even moving along. I said, you need to call SBA every single day and ask for tier 2. You have to call every single day. And people thought I was crazy. And I said, no, every single day. And they literally called every single day. And they got their applications out of being stuck to being approved. And it worked. That's the same equation when you look at getting these monies under fourth stimulus recon. We have not become a community or a channel or a nation in which we picked up the phone and pushed to get money during the pandemic, but now that we're coming out of the pandemic, we're not going to push to get the money? No. Johnny's a perfect example. He started with 0 on this channel 1 week, about a month ago, and ended the week with 80,000. What did he get? Rent, utilities, and mortgage. But he didn't just get in one place. He got rent in multiple places. You don't just put in one application at one place and call it a day. You put applications in 20 places. You get funded by 20 different places, as many places as you can. And he got $80,000 from 7 different programs. Imagine how many phone calls he made to get 7 programs approved. Had to have been 15 phone calls. So for that viewer says, I made 1 phone call, and they said I don't qualify. You're not making the effort. You're playing games with yourself. You're doing yourself a disservice. You are trying an inverted narration, an altered universe. It's much like that same person who jumps in the live chat that may say something like, I read on a search engine that there's no checks for us in this fourth stimulus recon. There are checks, upwards of $15,000. They're very different. You need to adapt yourself to the situation. There is these big checks in this fourth stimulus recon. When third stimulus became law, it took me an effort to tell viewers, wait, There's over $15,000 of checks in this recon. And they thought, what is this? I've never seen this before. I said, I'll show you how to get it. And I launched Purple Hawks. And average view got 45,000. Now it's the same thing again. But I guess some people may be new to this channel, or they've sort of lulled themselves into a narration that things are just, too difficult. No, it's not too difficult. Pick up the phone and get the money. And with that, we're going to have a big day across the board. Coming up next is Morning's Countdown at 7 a.m. Then we have Morning's LA live on air at 9 a.m. So with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful day, and stay with LA for more.